3 drunk brothers swore a blood oath to hunt down Death himself and kill him. They stormed through a plague-ridden village, demanding to know where the Reaper was hiding. An old man pointed to a twisted oak tree. They drew their daggers ready for a fight, but they didn't find a monster. They found gold. They thought they were rich, but they had actually found their executioner. Our host began swearing like a man possessed, clearly shaken to his very core. "By the nails and blood of Christ," he cried, wiping sweat from his brow. That was a cursed thief and a false judge in that last story. It breaks my heart to see such beauty pay such a high price. He looked around the group, his face pale. He told us he needed a remedy immediately. Either a mug of biting, strong ale or a merry, light-hearted tale. Otherwise his heart would simply snap from pity. He turned his desperate eyes toward the pardoner. "You, my friend," he said, "tell us something funny. Give us some jokes, right now." But the other pilgrims shouted him down in a chorus of disapproval. "No, no dirtiness," they cried. "Tell us something moral. Tell us a story with some wisdom we can actually learn from." The pardoner, a man who knew his audience, nodded smoothly. "Granted," he said with a thin smile, "but I'll need a moment to think of something decent while I stop at this ale house for a drink." Refreshment in hand, the pardoner begins. "Lordings," he says, his voice taking on that practiced oily charm, "when I preach in church, I use a loud, ringing voice that echoes off the stone walls. I know my sermon by heart. My theme is always the same. Greed is the root of all evil." He leans in and tells the pilgrims exactly how he operates, with the confidence of a magician revealing his tricks. First, he flashes his official documents with their fancy seals to silence the crowd. Then he brings out his relics. These are just jars stuffed with old rags and bleached bones. He picks up a brass shoulder bone from a sheep and holds it up to the light. He tells the superstitious farmers, "Wash this bone in a well, and if your cow or ox drinks from it, they'll be cured of any snake bite or pox." Then he dangles a greasy old mitten in the air. "Put your hand in this glove," he promises, "and your grain will multiply. Wheat, oats, it doesn't matter, your barn will burst, but there is a catch." He tells the congregation that no one who has committed a terrible, shameful sin can offer money to his relics. If they are guilty, they must stand back, but if they are clean, they can come up and pay him. By using this clever psychological trick, nobody wants to admit to sin, so everyone pays, and he has made an absolute fortune. He is remarkably honest about his dishonesty. He says with a shrug, "I preach against the very vice I practice, avarice. I can make people repent, certainly, but that isn't my goal. I just want their coin. I don't care if their souls go wandering off into the void after they're buried. I want money, wool, cheese, and wheat. I'll take it from the poorest widow in the village, even if her children are starving. I have no intention of living in poverty like the apostles. I want wine and a jolly wench in every town I visit." So, having cheerfully admitted he is a vicious, greedy man, he agrees to tell a moral tale. He sets his scene in Flanders. There was a group of young folk there, the kind who haunt the taverns, dancing to the strum of lutes and harps, gambling day and night. They were eating and drinking far beyond excess. The pardoner, narrowing his eyes, calls the tavern the Devil's Temple. He goes off on a brief tangent about the dangers of such excess. He reminds us how Lot lay with his daughters when he was drunk, and how Herod gave the order to kill John the Baptist during a wine-fueled feast. He blames the fall of Adam on gluttony. He talks about how wine transforms a man of dignity into a fool. "A drunken man's face is disfigured," he says with a sneer. His breath is sour, and he keeps grunting, "Samson, Samson," even though Samson never drank a drop of wine. He rails against gambling, too, calling it the mother of lies and manslaughter. He recalls a wise ambassador from Sparta who traveled to Corinth. When he saw the leaders there playing dice, he turned around and went straight home, refusing to ally his noble country with a bunch of gamblers. But back to the story. These 3 rioters were sitting in a tavern, nursing their drinks before the morning church bell had even finished ringing. Suddenly they heard a sharp, clinking bell outside. A coffin was being carried past on the muddy road. One of them yelled to his servant boy, "Go ask whose corpse that is. And get the name right." The boy didn't need to move. "Sir," he said softly, "I already know. It was an old friend of yours. He was slain last night, dead drunk on his bench. A secret thief named Death came and speared his heart in two. He's killed 1,000 people during this pestilence. You should watch out for him." The innkeeper behind the bar nodded grimly. "It's true, Death has killed everyone in a village just a mile from here. Men, women, children, servants. I think he must live there." The rioter slammed his cup down, angry now. "Is this Death so dangerous?" he asked. "I vow to find him. I'll search every street and crooked alley." The three of them stood up, swaying slightly. They were drunk and raging. They swore an oath to be brothers, clasping hands. They would find this traitor, Death, and kill him before nightfall. They stumbled out toward the village the innkeeper mentioned, kicking up dust. They were swearing terrible oaths, tearing Christ's body apart with their blasphemy. "We'll catch him," they snarled. "Death shall be dead." Half a mile down the road, just as they were crossing a fence, they met a poor old man. He was wrapped up tight in thick cloth, with only his withered face showing. He greeted them meekly. The proudest rioter sneered at him. "Hey, old churl, why are you all wrapped up like a mummy? Why are you still alive at this ripe, rotten old age?" The old man looked him in the eye with a gaze full of weary sadness. He said, "Because I cannot find a man, not in the city or the village, not even if I walked all the way to India, who would trade his youth for my age. So I have to keep my age for as long as God wills it. Death won't take my life." He looked down at the hard earth. "I knock on the ground with my staff," he said, tapping the dirt, morning and night. "That's my mother's gate. I say, 'Dear mother, let me in. Look how I'm withering away.' Mother, I would trade my chest of clothes just for a haircloth to wrap my corpse in. But she won't let me in. And my face just gets paler and more wrinkled." He looked back at the rioters. "But sirs, you shouldn't be rude to an old man. The Bible says to respect age. I advise you to do no harm to an elder unless you want people to do the same to you when your hair turns white." He tried to shuffle away, but the second gambler grabbed his rough cloak. "Not so fast," he barked. "You just mentioned that traitor Death. He's killing all our friends. I bet you're his spy. Tell us where he is or you'll pay for it. You're working with him to kill us young folk, aren't you?" "Now, sirs," the old man sighed, "if you really want to find Death, turn up this crooked path. I left him in that grove. Under a tree, he's waiting there. He won't hide from your boasting. You see that great oak? That's where you'll find him." The three drunks ran to the tree, their boots thudding on the grass. But they didn't find a person. They found gold, bushels of fine, round gold florins. Nearly 7 bushels of them, shining brilliantly in the dappled sunlight. Suddenly, they didn't care about hunting Death anymore. They sat down by the pile, staring at the mesmerizing shine. The worst of them spoke up, his voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper. "Listen," he said, "I'm smart even if I like to joke. This treasure is a gift from fortune. We can live our lives in mirth and jollity, but we can't carry this home by daylight. People will call us thieves and hang us. We have to wait for night. We need to be sly." He hatched a plan. "We'll draw lots. The loser has to run to town and bring back bread and wine. The other 2 will stay here and guard the treasure. When night comes, we'll carry it wherever we want." They drew lots, and the youngest pulled the short straw. He headed off toward the town. As soon as he was gone, the leader turned to the other. "You're my sworn brother, right? I can help you profit. You know our friend is gone. And here is plenty of gold. If it's divided among 3, that's one thing. But if I could shape it so it was just divided among us 2, wouldn't I be doing you a favor?" The other one blinked. "How he knows the gold is with us? What do we say to him?" "It's a secret," the first one said, patting his dagger. "Look, 2 are stronger than 1. When he comes back, you start a friendly wrestling match with him. While you're struggling, I'll stab him through the side. Then you stab him with your dagger. And then, my dear friend, all this gold will be just for you and me. We can fulfill all our desires and play dice whenever we want." So the two scoundrels agreed to kill the third. But the youngest boy had thoughts of his own. Walking to town, all he could see in his mind's eye was the beauty of those bright florins. "Oh Lord," he thought, "if I could have all this treasure to myself, no man under the sun would be as happy as me." The devil put a thought in his head: buy poison. He went to an apothecary, a shop smelling of dried herbs and dust. He asked for poison to kill some rats. He lied and said there was a polecat in his yard eating his chickens, and he wanted revenge. The apothecary nodded gravely. "I have something. God save my soul, it's strong. If a creature eats a piece the size of a grain of wheat, he'll die. He'll be dead before you can walk a mile." The cursed man took the box of poison. He ran to the next street and borrowed 3 large bottles. He poured the poison into 2 of them and kept the third clean for himself to drink. He planned to move the gold all by himself that night. He filled the 3 bottles with wine and went back to his friends. What is there left to say? It happened exactly as they planned. When the boy arrived, the 2 men jumped him and killed him. When it was done, the leader wiped his blade and said, "Now let's sit and drink and be merry. Then we'll bury his body." By chance, he grabbed one of the poisoned bottles. He took a long, deep drink and passed it to his fellow. They both drank, and just like that, they died. The old Dr. Avicenna never described symptoms more terrible or convulsions more painful than what those 2 wretches suffered at the end. They found death under that tree, just like the old man promised. "O cursed sin," the partner cries out, finishing his tale. "Treacherous homicide, gluttony and gambling." He finishes his story and immediately switches back to his sales pitch, his voice losing its storytelling lilt and gaining a hard commercial edge. "Now, good men," he says, "God forgive your trespasses. Beware of avarice, but lucky for you I'm here, my holy pardon can heal you. Provided you offer me gold, silver, brooches, or rings. Come up, you wives, offer your wool. I'll write your names in my roll and you'll go to heaven." He holds up his bag. "I have relics as fair as any man in England, given to me by the Pope himself. Come forth and kneel. Or take a pardon as we ride along. You never know, someone might fall off their horse and break their neck. It's a great security to have a partner like me in your company." Then he turns his eyes to the host. "I advise that our host offers first," he says slyly, "for he is the most enveloped in sin. Come forth, sir host, and offer first. You can kiss every one of the relics, just for a groat. Unbuckle your purse." The host wasn't having it. He turned red with rage. "Nay, nay," he shouted. "I'd rather have Christ's curse. You'd probably try to make me kiss your old underwear and swear it was a saint's relic, even if it was stained with manure. By the cross St. Helen found, I wish I had your testicles in my hand instead of relics. Let's cut them off and enshrine them in a hog's turd." The partner was so angry he couldn't speak. He just sat there, fuming silently. "Now," said the host, crossing his arms, "I won't play with you any more, nor with any other angry man." The worthy knight saw that things were getting tense. "No more of this," he said, stepping in with authority. "Sir partner, cheer up, and you, sir host, my dear friend, give the partner a kiss. Let's laugh and play as we did before." And so, grudgingly at first, then with better humor, they kissed and rode forth on their way. And so, thanks to the noble knight, peace was restored, and the company rode on, leaving the dark shadow of that oak tree far behind them. It reminds us that even after the grimmest of tales, a bit of fellowship can set the world right again. If you enjoyed this journey into the past, please leave a like to help our own little community grow. And do subscribe, because the road to Canterbury is still long, and there are many more stories waiting to be told. Until next time,